Morning. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Love 500. And welcome back to an empty driveway. As you can see, there is no car on the drive. The Sport is currently out in the road. Parked on double yellow lines, I hasten to add, which I'll be moving it shortly. Our bath is just tucked out of view in front of the house in its usual parking space. And so we have an empty drive. And why do we have an empty drive, do you think? The reason for that is because another car is coming this morning. I've just had a text from my transport guy at Galen, and he is just leaving. He's en route back from Essex with my new project. And so by the powers of YouTube, in no time at all, the car will be here. He's going to be here in an hour. Hopefully it might have stopped raining by then, but by the powers of YouTube, you're going to see the car. There it is. It's here. You can just probably make out the Sport sitting behind it. So now you've seen the magic of YouTube. Let's just go back half an hour when the car arrived. Right, the pop's just arrived. There it is, being unloaded. This is Galen.
Oh yeah.
I highly recommend him. He's based in London, but if you obviously goes all over the country. That's his website. There's his phone number.
All over apart from the Highlands.
All over apart from the Highlands. There's his phone number and his mobile. Obviously he does recovery as well, should you break down. Let's go over the pop while it's still on the transporter. Wing, bumper will repair, no problem at all. Wing, got a wing on order. Should come today. Don't want to get in your way. On the back we've got a little scuff and a little dent there, which I might have a go at. If not, I'll go to body shop. And that's pretty much it, really.
Oh, you got some wheels inside?
So what? Wheels?
Some wheels, yeah.
Wheels?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, wheels with tires, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's giving them here.
Oh, nice
He
one.
said I have no use for them. Maybe you will.
Okay. So yeah, there it is. So I've got this one from Grant at Salvage Flippers rather than Copart. It's come from Copart, but not directly to me from Copart. He bought it before lockdown and he saw them on the channel that I didn't have any more projects. So he said, if you want it, you can have it for what I paid for it. So there it is. So once we get it off the transporter and it's on the drive, and when it stops raining, we'll do a proper walk round and see what's going on. So now it's stopped raining, we'll do a little walk around. So, it's a 2012 62 plate pop. And it has the silver checkered pattern on the roof, which is obviously vinyl. Which, had it been a different colour, I might have taken off, but being red, it's probably faded the paint underneath. We've got a scuff there, which, yeah, I think that's probably too much for me to do. So I'll probably take that to the body shop to get that done. That won't cost very much. A little bit on the bumper there, which obviously I can do myself. Some of that will just come out with cutting compound, as will some of the light scratches along here. They'll come out with a good polish, I would imagine. What else? Needs a new one of them. And the obvious thing is the wing. I bought a wing in colour. I was hoping that might come today, but it doesn't look like it's going to now. I think that scuff will probably come out. We'll probably polish out. The only problem I've got with, I've got to change the wing is, of course, we've got this silver stripe, so I'm probably going to have to redo the stripes. At least one side. If I can get them in the same colour, then that'll be fine. But if I can't, then obviously I can't The front bumper is not too bad. Obviously it won't polish out, but I can paint that a little bit. That won't be too bad. But obviously I'll wait till I get the wing on till I do that. So yeah, apart from that, there's not much wrong with it. Inside, seats aren't too bad. I've seen dirtier. There's a little bit of a burn in that seat, which is a bit unfortunate, but it doesn't smell of smoke in here at all. But there's obviously a fag burn. But c'est la vie. I'm not going to change a seat just for that tiny little burn. It's done 59,000 miles. Let's get in. 59,000 miles. Just turned it. What else? I haven't even looked myself, to be honest. I haven't got any handbooks or anything with it. Grant has already shown me under the seat there that there was nothing there, so I'm not even going to bother looking. Assuming the stereo all works. Yep, that's good. There's no warning lights up, which is a bonus. And let's have a look in the boot, see what we got in the boot. Does the micro switch work? Yes. And what we do have in the boot is Grant has very kindly given me a set of 4 wheels with what looks like half decent tyres on them as well. He said he had no use for them, so he's given them to me, which is very nice of him. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate that. And that means that one of the wheels I've noticed at the front, which is obviously where the impact was, has got damaged. So that's mullered there. So it's all right keeping that as a spare. Tyre's not fantastic on that either anyway, so that tyre would have had to have been replaced. I mean, that could be bent back into shape, I guess. It's only a steel wheel, which I'll probably have a go at. But I'm not going to put it back on this car. As Grant's kindly given me those wheels, I might as well stick one of those on. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, thank you, Grant, for that. I'll wait until I get the wheels out and then we'll have a look, see what's underneath. See if there's a spare in there. But it's obviously, as they always are, when they've come from Copart, it's dirty. Grant's had it a couple of months at least, and it's been sitting in his yard. So obviously it needs a damn good clean. Now it's stopped raining, I might give it a jet wash and go over it with a bucket and sponge, just to see if anything else shows itself. Not to my imagination, but that wing looks a lot brighter than that door, so I reckon that wing's probably been, unless it's just really dirty, I don't know. We'll tell when we polish it out. Maybe it's the door that's different. Something's different. Can't quite work it out. But that wing, although the wing seems to blend in with the blend in with the bonnet, and it blends in with the bumper, but it looks different to the door. But then the door seems to blend in with the back of the car, so it's all a bit odd. Unless it's had door and back panel repainted. Yeah, that's really weird. That it does certainly shows. But yeah, so I get it cleaned and we'll go from there. We'll see how different it is. I'm not going to bother too much. It's going to be a cheap car for someone. So basically, Grant gave it to me for the amount that he paid for it, including all his fees and his delivery charge to his unit. So I've paid him exactly that amount. And because cars are going for really a lot of money at Copart at the moment, and he knew that I didn't have a project, so he offered me this one, and I accepted gratefully accepted. So yeah, so this is the new project. I'm bored trying to think of names to call these now. Project Red Sport. Oh, what we got here? Where's the little? Is that something stuck on there or what? I don't know. That's a little. That'll have to be touched in, I think. I don't know if it's something on there. No, it's a dig somewhere, so I'll have to touch a bit of paint into there. I'm not going to go mad with this one because it's going to be a cheap car for someone. Obviously, we'll go over the figures at some point. But you know, usually it's the front end for me. Most of what I do is the front end, but this front end is fine. Apart from obviously the side of the bumper, but we're not worried too much about that. I can sort that out. So the only annoying bit, really, is the stripes. So I think I'm going to have to put new stripes on that side, and I'm going to have to put a new stripe on the front side. So I might as well get a set of stripes and just renew them. The bonnet ones I'll leave, the roof ones I'll leave. As long as they're silver, hopefully they'll match enough. And I'll use the old boiling water trick to get these ones off. So it's not going to be a long job to do this car, I don't think. Now, from this angle, I don't know if it shows up on video, that you can see that wing looks completely different. So I don't know if that wing's been put on at some point. Probably bloody Copart that have put it on. Although if they'd done that, they wouldn't have bothered with the silver stripes. As you know, on the Abarth, they put a dodgy pre-facelift door on. So who knows what they've done. So that's it for the time being. So I'm going to get the jet wash out and give it a good wash now. And then we'll come back and have another walk around and see what else has come to light when we get the dirt off. The seats are going to need a clean. They're not too bad. They're not too bad at all, but I always clean them up. They are a bit dirty, a bit grubby. There's a nice blonde hair there on the seat. And yeah, we'll have a look in the boot. Let's have a look under the bonnet quickly. Hold the camera. Yeah, it looks clean enough. A few cobwebs, so it's been sitting around. No aircon, obviously. It's a pop. Battery's good. Looks like the original battery, or it's certainly a OEM Fiat supplied battery. But Grant said it had been sitting around for 2 weeks without being started, and it just fired straight into life. So it's obviously a decent battery. I need to try and track down some service history if I can. See if the cam belt's been done, because there's obviously no way of telling whether the cam belt's been done or not. Accessory belt looks okay, what I can see, but there's clearly no way of knowing till you get the cam belt out. So we probably will do the cam belt, or rather Connor, my trusty mechanic, will do the cam belt with me overseeing. So yeah, that's it. We'll be back once I've got it clean. Right, it's all clean of sorts now. So it's been, as you saw, jet washed, and then bucket and sponge. So there's no real surprises. I think it's going to need a damn good polish, because it's. I mean, it looks shiny at the moment because it's wet, but where it's drying off, I can see it's not massively shiny. What my suspicion on this wing was right though. I'm trying to work out what is right, because that wing seems to match in with the bonnet, which seems to match in with the bumper, but doesn't with the door. And then the door, I think, matches in with the back wing. Or is it slightly different as well? Not sure. Really not sure. So the wing almost looks orange compared to the door. So I reckon this door is a replacement. There's a little scuff down there, which could be not related. Paint's just chipped off when I've touched it. I'm wondering if the door's been done at some point and someone stuck a new door on it, which is different, but it definitely looks different. It looks slightly different to the back quarter, but the back quarter looks different to the front wing. This is the problem with red cars. Trying to put panels on them and match up, unless you paint and blend, it's very difficult to match. The other side looks fine. Typically the other side is the wing that I'm replacing, so it'd be interesting to see how that matches. But yeah, so I think the doors, I think this door matches this wing, that wing matches that bonnet. So I think that door on the other side has been replaced and doesn't match the wing. I don't think it's the wing. I'm sure an expert will be able to tell, but it does look, the whole of the car looks more orangey Or does it? I don't know. Maybe it's the sunlight that's not helping. It's bright sunlight, but it does stick out like a sore thumb. Unless that wing is new and that was blown over with the bonnet and the bumper, that's always a possibility. It's difficult to tell, but it looks decidedly different. So I'm not sure what I'll do about that. It's so different. It might be a bit too bright for the camera to pick up what it's really like. But yeah, I'll have to give that some thought as how to go about doing that. Because it all seems to... See this part, the A-pillar, that looks... I don't know, when I look at the A-pillar seems to match that. But when I sort of look between there and there, that sort of matches as well. But it's only when it's adjoining panels that it looks different. Let's have a look at the bolts and see if there's been any paint disturbance on the bolts. Can't really tell. No, not really. Not really. It's a strange one, that. It's a very strange one. But whatever, anyway, so we'll get to the bottom of that one way or the other. Might just be a little bit more painting than I thought necessary. Possibly. So what I might end up doing is getting that whole side blown over, possibly, because obviously we've got to do that. Just going to have to go to the body shop to have that done. That damage there. Might be as well as to sort of try and blend the door in as well. But then where do you stop? If you blend the door, then is it going to match that wing? If you paint the wing, you've got to paint the bonnet, you've got to paint the bumper, you end up painting most of the car. So it's yeah, it's a strange one. I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it some way or the other. I mean, if that wing, this wing was available from where I got the other wing from, which hasn't arrived yet, but if I get it and that wing matches that, then I may as well have the other wing as well and swap the wings over. That's really weird. Really weird. But it's the wing that stands out more than anything else. So it's almost like, yes, see, I'm tending to think that, I don't know. I really don't know. It is so different. So different. Because if I go and get a door, what's the chances this door's going to match? We'll probably, you know, get another red door, which will also be out. So it's a waste of time changing the door if that's going to happen. It's better off just trying to get it painted. We'll see. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it one way or the other. I'm not sure if the video is going to pick this up or not, but there's obviously a bit of transference from shopping trolley, or a bit too high to be a bumper. There's a mark on there. Now this G10 stuff that I've shown you before gets most of these sorts of things out. If this doesn't, then the G3 will. But you know, this is doing it, yeah. So give it a bit of elbow grease and a little bit of G10, and that's it, it's gone. It's a little tiny bit there, but that's more of a scratch than a transference, I think. But you can barely see. It's quite difficult in this bright sunlight, really. That's good stuff, this G10. So it gets most things out, certainly with like plastic transference and paint transference and that sort of thing. But if it doesn't, then the G10, either again with a microfiber cloth or with a polisher, will do the trick. I'm going to try a bit on the can't really film it because it's up on the top. Let me take the camera off. I'm just going to try it on here, which seems a little bit faded, so I'm going to pour a little bit on as I'm doing it with one hand. Normally I'd put it on the cloth, of course. Just a little tiny amount on. Give it a polish. It's not a polish, give it a cut back. Yeah, see, that's brought that right up. That's really, I don't know if you can tell the difference there. So the difference there, I think the sun's probably bleaching it out a bit. Too much reflection. But that's made such a difference. So I'm going to go over the whole car with that stuff. It's cracking stuff. Excuse the camera shake. Yeah, go over the whole car with that. Not now, but get the wing done first. So yeah, it's good. I'm going to go over the car now and see if there's any more marks like that. There are a few. There's a couple of scratches on the back here. It's got a lot of marks on this. I suppose it's done 59,000 miles. I've had better condition 2012 cars. I've had better condition 2010 cars. So there's some scrapes here. The G3 might get that out. Or the G10 might get that out. We'll try it. I'm not going to do that on camera. I'm not going to go around every mark on the car on camera, but I'll get out some of that as well, I reckon. I don't know if that's gone right down. No, that's on the surface. I can feel that's on the surface. Let's put the camera back on the tripod and we'll see if we can get that out. Right, let's give it a go. So I'm not going to go over the whole car with this now. I've got a couple of bits to do on the Sport because I want to get the Sport up for sale today. Hey, look at that. Not even any effort. It's gone. Even those scratches are coming out as well. There you go, look, completely gone. I'll even take some of that off, I reckon. Just re-aim the camera. Obviously it still needs to be done properly because it's taken paint off, but and there's a bit of a dent, but it'll improve the look of it. See what it does. There, look, it's taken a lot of it off. It's a shame it's taken the paint off because I could have got a PDR bloke down to, or even had a go at it myself. I might actually have a go at it myself. It depends whether I need to do anything with this door and this wing. I'm gonna have to do something. I can't sell it like that. It's too different. It's bugging me now. So yeah, it's got a lot of it out. Stripes are gonna have to come off though, even if I put new ones on. Get some of these scratches out. Yeah, they're coming out. Probably the panels are a bit too warm to be doing this, really. You can still see those scratches a bit, but I reckon getting some polish on there will do that with the machine polisher. But it's improved them, definitely improved them. So I just wanted to try something, see what you think. I don't know if it's going to show up well enough. So I've got this bonnet, existing bonnet, off of an old car. Now when I put that bonnet up against, it is dusty and I've tried to dust it off a little bit, but when I put this bonnet up against the car, that wing and that bonnet, to me, that matches. But let's move it. I haven't actually tried it up against the door yet. Let me just pause it. It's that door. It's different, so it's got to be the door. It's got to be the door that is different. Yeah, that door, because I think with these red cars, what I've noticed in the past is it seems to be, rather than fade like red colours traditionally do, it seems that these Fiat colours, they just change red. They don't get darker as such. It just, well, this is sort of darker, but they sort of change colour. They change to like I suppose it is a darker red. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but to the eye, completely off, but looking at that is off. But again, when I put the bonnet over here, excuse the camera work, when I put that back there, that matches exactly. So it's got to be the door. This must have had another door. So unless the back of this car was blown over, so if this back of the car was blended in at the same time the door was painted, that would explain why it was different. But why on earth didn't they paint in the wing as well? Doesn't make sense. Don't know why they would do half a job like that, because it is so different. So when I get that repaired, maybe I'll get them to spray the door as well, and hopefully it'll match, or at least blend it into the wing some way. Obviously it costs me more money, but got to do something, can't leave it like that. So there you see the first video from the car today. The red pop, cleaned up reasonably well. There are a few scratches on it, and as always, there's always an issue of one sort or another. Obviously the issue with this one is that wing. I don't know how I'll get around that. It's obviously going to be a paint job As I said earlier, there's no point in me just getting another door and hoping it matches, because it's pointless. Chances are I'd get another door and it'd be exactly the same problem. So it's going to have to be painted, I think. So I'll take it down once everything else is done. I'll get it down to the body shop, see what they have to say, and then decide from there. See what they advise. I personally think that door's been replaced. I'm not sure why it would match up with the rear quarter, which it seems to. But having put that bonnet up against the door and the wing and the bonnet on the car and the bumper which matches, don't know. It's got to be the door. It's got to be the door. Anyway, I'm not going to keep harping on about that. It is what it is. We'll get to the bottom of it, as I keep saying. So I'm waiting for the wing to come. Obviously, hoping and praying that that's going to match. I don't want another shade of red. So yeah, hopefully that'll come tomorrow. Hopefully, get that done tomorrow on the weekend. Get the old one off, get the new one on, and then we'll sort out that bumper. What I did notice, I forgot to film. What I did notice is, I don't know if you noticed when I was walking around the car, I had the power on and the two daylights were on. What I did notice is there's a bulb inside the driver's side daylight running light. A loose bulb flapping around in there, so somehow that's got lost in there, and all they've done is just put another bulb in. I left it there cracking. So I'll probably, once I get the wing off, obviously I've got to loosen that edge of the bumper, so I'll take that DRL out, I think, and fish out that bulb. The things people do, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So there's not a massive amount to do for me to do anyway. A lot of it's got to go paint shop to be done. It's just a little bit beyond me. I'm going to do some bits of it, but paint shop can do the majority of it, and then we'll go from there. I'll clean the seats, etc, etc, the usual stuff basically. So that's the end of the first day. I haven't done much to it today. Obviously I put a new windscreen back window wiper on it, and I've done what you saw me do. That's it, that's all I've done. I'll have another look tomorrow. I'm more inclined to not work on the Sport. There was a couple of bits I had to do on the Sport, a couple of bolts to put in. There was a rattle at the back that I think I mentioned before. I needed to sort the bumper out where it was knocking against the exhaust back box. I've done that, so that's ready to go now. All I've got to do is sort out the service history, get that all, make sure I've got it all together and complete, and then that'll go up for sale. I wanted to get up for sale today, but it's not going to be till tomorrow now. So that's it for today's video on the red pop. Once again, Grant, thank you for giving me that, or not giving me that, selling me that, I should say. We won't take too long putting that one back together. So there's not that much to do. So we'll be back on another day with the next instalment of that. Thank you for watching. Hope you found it entertaining. Hope I haven't bored you and waffled at you too much. And let's get me up to 1,000. We're getting there now. Not far to go now, and we'll be up to 1,000. So as I say, if you're a casual viewer, if you've not been here before, please subscribe, and we'll see you in a day or so.